Good morning, good evening, or maybe you're tucking the kids into bed, and I should say good night. Wherever you are in the world, I'm happy that you're joining us. Guys, we are almost to 5,000 subscribers. Look down there, we're at 4.85. Man, we're getting close. It's been a long road. We're actually coming up on the anniversary of 1 year since Tim and I have been rocking out here at the Investing Bros. We've been having a ton of fun the whole time, and we've got a ton of fun today in the show. We've got some good news, and Bitcoin is remaining above $35,000 per coin, so that is always really, really good to see. Checking out the economics for today, we've got actually 10:15 in a.m. So here in just a few minutes, about an hour and 15 minutes, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell will take to the stage to address the economy. What he will say, nobody knows. But we will see. I think it's becoming less and less important what Jerome Powell says because the labor market is beginning to weaken. Okay, so he's starting to, it's not there yet, but this trend of the labor market weakening is actually going to put him in a corner to where raising rates becomes less and less of an option. So that's going to be really interesting to hear and see what he has to say in his speech again at 10:15. No, not really any other significant economic news. But let's take a look here at the Bitcoin charts. I've got it pulled up. Bitcoin struggling to get up above that 36 mark. Wasn't able to do it last night, but has been able to stay above, well above the midline of the Bollinger Band there. It would getting into 36 and being able to flip that into support would put Bitcoin up above the premium zone there printed by Chart Prime. So that would be very bullish for Bitcoin to get back up there. Guys, this is it's definitely a good market. It's got a good, solid feeling. It seems like there's way more buyers than sellers in the market. And all that needs to happen now is just for these narratives that are already in motion to continue to gain momentum, gain steam. And we're going to be talking about a few of those momentum building narratives today. Let's start with our first one here, which is from actually the NASDAQ.com has a news site apparently. So let's check it out. They're outsourcing their news from Bazinga. So it's a lot of fun over here. Robinhood's Tenev teases EU expansion and addresses relisting delisted tokens like Cardano, Matic, and Solana. Maybe you've heard of these coins. Perhaps you maybe even have DCA'd into some of these coins here on this list, Cardano, Matic, and Solana. Some would say you'd be a fool not to. CEO of Robinhood Markets Incorporated was asked about the performance of the crypto market. He acknowledged that while there has been a stronger performance in these cryptocurrencies, the volume trends have remained relatively subdued, both industry-wide and on the Robinhood platform. So guys, that to me is bullish, because if you take a look over here on the charts, through Q3, right, this has been low trading volume for Robinhood, right? This big move for Bitcoin has been low trading volume. Just imagine when the trading volume is not low on more TradFi, more traditional brokerages like Robinhood. It's going to be pretty incredible. Eric Wallen saying, too bullish. And Fade and TradFi said, everyone is so bullish at the moment. Nancy Croy said, good morning, everyone. You got to love it. Eric Wallen said, look how handsome T-Shroom is today. Well, I don't know if I look handsome today. Goodness, Eric, you're making me blush. Let's see what else we got here. Morning peeps. This is the local top, question mark, says Fade and TradFi. It could be. It could be. Rick Nachos said, can't wait for the bull market, bros. Well, I think by a lot of metrics, we are in the bull market, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be interesting to see how this one goes and just how quickly it picks up. But let's dive back into this Robinhood article here because it doesn't stop there. Tenev also mentions that Robinhood's team is working on the launch of their services in the European Union, which is expected to significantly expand the market of customers they can serve. So that's good for Robinhood. If you're long Robinhood stock, which I'm not, I actually don't own any Robinhood stock, this could be potentially good for the price per share, that they're showing that they're expanding into the EU, trying to do something new, right? In June, the trading platform announced that it will cease support for 3 prominent cryptocurrencies: Cardano, Polygon, and Solana. And when asked, are they going to put them back on your platform? He said, it's hard to say what specifically we're waiting for to give us comfort. I think that rulemaking, court case data, that all helps. And of course, we'll continue to push for regulatory clarity, because I think it would be a shame for the innovation that we've been seeing in crypto to be co-opted overseas. So somebody's paying attention. Somebody is tracking the right stuff. I think it's very, very important for the U.S. to remain a leader in every new technology in the industry that we possibly can. Tenev responded. So effectively dodging the question completely, but definitely not saying no. And he sounds willing to relist Cardano, Solana, and Polygon, but he doesn't sound like he's in any rush to do that. Which kind of signifies to me that we're probably still pretty early here in this bull market. Well, we are absolutely still very early in this bull market. So he's not in any rush. He doesn't feel like he's going to be missing out on any trading fees for his company. So that's pretty good. And I have to say, back when Polygon and Cardano were on Robinhood, it didn't seem like they were taking much fees at all. So I don't know exactly how all that works and what their incentive really is over at Robinhood for listing these cryptos, other than just to bring in traffic like me, right, who probably wouldn't be using the app very much if it didn't also have crypto. All right, let's take a look here at our next story. But overall, guys, that's pretty big, right? That Robinhood is considering relisting Cardano, Polygon, and Solana. That would be very big for this space. I'll tell you a story. I was actually on a call with Robinhood's support yesterday. Super nice team. I was on a call yesterday. Was my customer support day. I was on calls with Chase Bank and also QuickBooks. And I got to tell you, Robinhood's support team was far and away the nice. It was just some guy. He said he was playing a video game while he was talking to me. And not in like a bad way, though. He was like, yeah, man, I just scored a goal in FIFA. And then he was saying, and I told him about our show, and he said he would tune in. Super good guy. And, it looks like the issue is going to be resolved about what I was calling about. Long story short, he was saying that USDC over Polygon has actually been paused on Robinhood in case you ever use that. And I asked the question, does that mean that Polygon's coming back on the chain? Are they trying to, recalibrate the blockchains there to update everything to bring Polygon back on? And he didn't give me a very clear response. It was kind of a dodgy answer, like we saw here from the CEO. Just kind of saying some things and then not really answering the question. So that could point to rather, some very bullish movement there, at least for Polygon in the future to come here. All right, well, speaking of bullish, Toncoin, not going anywhere. We're going to talk about it in just a second, but first let's go over to the chat and see what you guys are talking about. Faden Tradfi said Robinhood needs to grow a pair and list them back in the U.S. Absolutely, I agree. Rhinacho said Pepe would be great to add to Robinhood. I don't know. I don't see Pepe coming on Robinhood, but what's ironic about that is I believe that Dogecoin never stopped trading on Robinhood. Yeah, it's got a special place in the heart of Robinhood there. Let's see. Faden Tradfi also said Robinhood was my entry in 2021. I like them because I can flip my BTC into Tesla and back and forth. Yeah. Yep, I gotta say, Robinhood is pretty sweet. And we do have a code down in the description of this here live stream that you can actually get a free stock when you sign up for Robinhood. Of course, you have to be in the United States citizen circle because it's a U.S. brokerage. So Joe Nichols said GM, folks. Indie Rock Crypto said GMFM. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 80 Ace said, yo, I'm here. And Meek Vision said, I'm back. So you got to love it. Got a GM from Meek Vision there as well. Well, over on Toncoin, we have some pretty interesting stuff going on. For a moment there, it actually flipped Dogecoin. So Toncoin briefly overtakes Dogecoin amid 8% rally. At the time of writing, Toncoin changed hands at $2.61. A level last in February 2022. So let's take a look here. They are neck and neck here. This 9th, 10th, and 11th place on coin market cap, at least, are pretty close here. You can see the market caps on your right here. You can see the Dogecoin coming in at 10 billion, 10.5 billion, Tron at 8.7 billion, and Toncoin actually higher than Tron. So this is weird. I hate that CoinMarketCap does this, but Toncoin actually in the top 10 here by market cap alone. I don't know why. Again, I don't know why they insist on doing it slightly different. I think they have some other metric that they rank things based on. But anyway, you get the point here, guys. And also briefly, this number 9 was higher than 10.5, right? So that was pretty exciting for the Toncoin community. Toncoin, of course, a pretty new big face on the block, launched in 2018 and introduced by Telegram, which officially kind of cut ties with it and let it kind of float out. Has now kind of it seems Telegram has actually come back into the fold with Toncoin, and that has made the price for Toncoin move up and to the right quite rapidly, almost as rapidly as Brody tries to bite the mic when he is on with Tim and I on the Investing Bros. It's always a lot of fun. Drop a 1 in chat if you enjoy when Brody is on stream. Eric Wallen said, man, Cass looks like it's going to go parabolic. Yeah, we are going to absolutely have to go take a look at the Cass charts in just a second. That, of course, is Caspa. It's a chart that I do like to look at from time to time because I'm a Caspa man myself. I have a decent bag of Caspa, probably a higher percentage than I should, but hey, I'm not investing more than I can afford to lose. Let's take a look here at the Toncoin charts. On the daily charts, you can see Toncoin trying to make a break for $2.89, which would put it back at its December 22 highs. It hasn't really gotten up there yet. It actually hasn't even penetrated the premium zone there from Chart Prime yet, has Toncoin, but it is riding the crap out of that upper band of the Bollinger Band. Really, really nice. And don't call it a cup and handle, but goodness gracious, I don't know if I've ever seen something that looks more cup and handly than the Toncoin charts right now. Look at that. I don't know why it's red. I never would use red, so what must have been the factoid elf jumping up here. Were you using my markers here, factoid elf? I cannot believe it. All right, let's move on here, guys. That's the Toncoin charts. Making a cup and handle there on the daily chart, looking pretty bullish. I'd have to say though, that this name does look oversold. Overbought, Toncoin. But hey, right now, one of the truths that I'm kind of realizing about crypto in this bull market is that a lot of crypto is totally defying the TA. It really started with Bitcoin. If you go back and look at Bitcoin back here, guys, this was a freaking head and shoulders, and I don't care what you think. This was a head and shoulders. Oh my gosh, it's red again. This was a head and shoulders right here, okay? And it did not play out, right? TA broken, okay? I think there's just so many buyers and so few sellers in the crypto markets right now that you completely buck this trend that was otherwise going to happen and made a huge move to the upside for Bitcoin, obviously. And we're in a new reality now, in an almost 36K Bitcoin reality that I know and love, but it also is kind of having TA guys like me kind of shaking in their boots. Like, what is going to happen here? Seeing a lot of ones in chat. That means that you guys do enjoy when Brody is on the show. I know I do. Got one in chat from Indie Rock Crypto, from Eric Wallen, from Gia S, from Drew P, from a Mellow Fellow, and I'm going to put a 1 in chat too, because I absolutely love it when Brody's on the chat. Brody's on the chat, or if he's on the stream, either one of those, I absolutely love it. Pete Shahat saying, how boring can a channel be? That's so true. I appreciate you tuning in and letting us know that we indeed have some haters. So it's nice to see. You're not winning if you don't have haters, because if you're not winning, ain't nobody got nothing to hate about, right? Indie Rock Crypto said, yo, be bullish. You've got to be overbought. RSI shows who is in charge. That's right. That is right. The RSI is showing that the bulls are in charge almost across the board, getting a lot more ones in chat here. But let's go ahead and move on to our next story. We got to love it. We're doing it for Brody here, guys. We're doing it for Brody. But Cathie Woods, she's doing it for her clients. Cathie Woods takes profits on Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Oh no, I've got to sell all my crypto right now, right? No, don't do it. Data shows that in the past 2 days, Woods has disposed. Interesting choice of words there. I don't even know what publication. Proactiveinvestor.co.uk. Okay. This story is everywhere. It's not just this website, guys. But she has disposed of some 4.6 million worth of BTC shares. If going by Tuesday's closing price of $28 and $1.01 per share, following a round of sell-offs through October. Okay, so that is kind of the stats here. That's the cold hard facts. These disposals form part of a rejigging of the ARK-W portfolio, which we're about to take a look at, with further acquisitions of Twitter founder Jake Dorsey's Block. Okay, so she bought SQ Block and actually has sold off GBTC. Now, let's take a look here. What is GBTC? Well, it's a trust. It's not an ETF. It's also not a futures ETF. Okay, it's a trust that could be converted into an ETF, a spot ETF, if they really wanted to. Now, that's super complicated, so I'm not going to get into it. But as you can see here, select an area to zoom. Oh, that is not what we wanted. As you can see here, on Y charts, you can actually see the NAV, which is basically how close the price per share of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is versus the actual underlying value that it has in the trust. Okay, so there's been a discount for a while. There's still a discount, which I gotta say, if you're thinking about buying Bitcoin and you have a U.S. brokerage account, there's not really a reason for not having some GBTC on your balance sheet, right? In my opinion, not financial advice. And obviously, this is also the advice that Cathie Woods has taken. She's not sold all her GBTC here, just so you know. I don't think she's taken full profit by any means. But you technically are getting a 12% discount on Bitcoin when you're buying it through GBTC, this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. That's why it's very popular, and that's why it has a pretty decently sized percentage of my portfolio, GBTC. She's selling it, but that's because she has a fiduciary responsibility to take profits and deliver returns to her clients. And she's rotating that money right back into a crypto company, pretty much, which is Block. It's not crypto specific necessarily, but crypto is a big part of what they do. Looking at the GBTC charts, you can see down in pre-market by about a little less than $1, but you can tell here that this trust of Bitcoin moves pretty much exactly with the Bitcoin price. This going back to June here, you can see Bitcoin move up, GBTC move up and to the right. So things looking pretty good over there for GBTC, despite one of its biggest cheerleaders, Cathie Wood, going ahead and trimming off some of the profits that she's been making. Now, should I do that? Should I sell some of my GBTC? I probably, in a perfect world, probably should take some profits and buy back on some dips. But honestly, guys, I don't want to get rid of that. That would probably be the last thing, last exposure instrument I would sell with exposure to Bitcoin, just because of that NAV discount. So that's the way that I'm looking at it. But let's take a look here at the ARK Invest fund that actually sold GBTC and compare that to the NASDAQ. So you've got the NASDAQ here on the bottom. You've got ARK Invest ticker. Why is it not showing? The ARK Invest ticker is ARKW, so ARKW for U.S. brokerage. And you can see here, it's pretty much mimicked the NASDAQ, except it had a higher high relative to the next two highs that it put in here versus the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ having much more of a uniform high placements here, putting a nice downtrending line of resistance that has now broken, by the way. If you haven't been tracking the TradFi markets, the NASDAQ is back above a very significant line of resistance that could be, the support it needs, if it can flip that support, to go penetrate all-time highs, guys. Now, this is the QQQ, so this isn't the actual price of the NASDAQ. This is the ETF of the NASDAQ. But it could make a run for all-time highs. And this, of course, is a bull flag. Tim has done some TA on this, and it does yield a pretty impressive result, that the NASDAQ, another side of the risk markets, the finance TradFi side, could actually make a run for all-time highs in 2023. We shall see. We may have to wait for next year before that happens. But I'll tell you one thing. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I'll go ahead and show you guys the number one weighted stock in both the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, and the S&P 500 has put in new all-time highs. Take a look at this, guys. So right here, this is Microsoft. Microsoft has put in all-time highs, and it is not showing any signs of slowing down. It is pretty crazy there, Microsoft. It may not look like it, but it honestly kind of doesn't look like that's true, but it is true. It was in CNBC. Maybe CNBC got it wrong, but it was on their headlines just a few days ago. Another headline here, but before we get to that, let's go ahead and check in on chat and see what is rocking. And let's see. Faden Tradfi said, my Kiji will not stop. I'm assuming that's either an NFT project or a coin. I have never heard of that one. Maybe if we have time here at the end, I'll go check that out. Indie Rock Crypto said, F in love ya, Tish. Slayin'. Love it. That's his nickname for me, Tish, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. Faden Tradfi said, she's, I think referring to Kathy Wood, she's getting ready for her ETF. Also very true. She could be freeing up some liquidity to seed that Bitcoin spot ETF, which, guys, hopefully we'll be having some news on that very, very soon. Of course, I think you'll know way before you watch Investing Bros whether or not those ETFs have dropped, because that will be the biggest thing, not only in crypto, but that'll be the biggest thing in finance for probably 10 years, since 09. I think this is going to be a huge, huge event, and folks who are exposed to Bitcoin's price action are going to see a very big upside. It's going to be very nice. Don't know how long it'll stay as high as it goes from that price action, but we will see some price action to the upside, as indicated by that fake Cointelegraph news that helped us get a little bit of a peer into the future. Let me know in the comments if you remember what I'm talking about when Cointelegraph dropped that fake news saying that the Bitcoin spot ETF from BlackRock had been approved. It was pretty crazy. Let's see. Eric Wallen said, smart. Block is beaten down. Yeah, Block. I actually haven't taken a look at Block in a while. Let's take a look at it really quick over on the charts. Let's see, ticker SQ. And of course, for our non-American viewers, you don't think you'd be able to buy this. It may be on some other foreign exchanges, but to my knowledge, you can't buy this outside of the United States. Yeah, take a look at this, man. The charts, this is the daily chart. So this thing is down in the discount, coming out of the discount zone right now, getting pretty close to that equilibrium zone. It's about half and half of the way there. I'm all over the place with this chart. I apologize. I wanted to see just how high this baby has been. So what I'm noticing is that this does have a lot more of a correlation with crypto than I thought it was. I'm going to have to look into the Block a little more sometime, their fundamentals. But, man, this thing was up almost $300 per share, which would put it 450% to the upside. So SQ, man, definitely one to watch. It is absolutely beaten down. Kathy Wood's taken a position in it in probably one of the better times to do that. MACD lines look like, I want to see if there's a bull cross forming. There absolutely was. Didn't play out. I guess you could say maybe this was the play out, but that's probably only like a 10% move to the upside. 42% move. Okay, I was wrong. So that was a nice move. That bull cross kind of did play out there if you were looking for some short-term gains there on the stock SQ. So SQ, not a bad stock. Eric Wallen, good shout out. Appreciate that moment. Was worth it looking at the charts there for Block ticker SQ. Let's see. Faden Tradfi said, got like 2 billion AT under management. GBTC does. Yeah, it's a big one. I think it is the biggest Bitcoin exposed instrument. So it's a trust. It's not an ETF. I'm not going to call it an ETF. But 20 billion, that sounds about right. That is so high. It's going to be crazy looking back on that after the spot ETFs come out for BlackRock, for Invesco, for Valkyrie and Fidelity. It's just going to be crazy. It's just going to be crazy because 20 billion, I think, will be a drop in the ocean compared to what we're going to be seeing move into some exposure to Bitcoin through those spot Bitcoin ETFs. Let's see. C90FTW said, I'm pretty close to just transferring all my TradFi long-term investment over to GBTC, but waiting to see where the ETF settles first. Yeah. Yeah. The only risk is that they have some kind. I mean, they do have. I think they have an ongoing issue with the S. No, I don't think they do. But they could absolutely get sued again. So with GBTC is like they've been in the bad graces of the SEC. I think that they've had some victories recently, but the reason why I'm hesitant to just go exactly what you're talking about here, C90, is that there is some counterparty risk there that they could be because they're also part of the DCG family, which has also faced, I believe they're under a lawsuit from Gemini in one way or another. So GBTC, though, make no mistake, it is positioned to do very, very well, but there is a small chance that things could go south for that specific instrument itself. What would actually happen to you if you were a holder of it, I'm not sure. But as we can see, the share price can deviate from the underlying net assets, which is Bitcoin. All right, moving along here, TradFi said, smash those likes. Absolutely. Fade and TradFi got it. Now, he called you all creepers. I don't know how you feel about that. That may be something that hurts a little more than you were ready for this Wednesday morning. But let's see what else we got going on here. Nancy Croy said, one pure innocent. Yes. I wonder what that is referring to. Maybe it's referring to me. I'm a pretty innocent guy. Red Elephant said, that new Xbox coming out. Yeah, for Microsoft. Right, yeah. And I think it's got some AI assistant built into it. We'll see if the kids are going to be into that or not. Probably like another $2,000 they're going to have to beg their parents for. I'm not sure, but somehow Microsoft always comes out with bangers, and that price just keeps going up and to the right. I'm certainly not selling my Microsoft. Hey all, says GS, let's get those likes caught up to the viewers. Smash it. I would really appreciate it, guys. Trade and TradFi, expanding here on his Cure Jira is the project. Serious people behef it still pretty low market cap. Kuji is the ticker. So KUJI is the ticker there. KUJI. Let me take a look at it. I've never looked at this one. KUJI. I've never even heard of it. But Fade and TradFi usually doesn't steer us wrong. So let's check it out on, oh my gosh. Checking it out on MEXC, you can see here. I can't remember if he shouted out the market cap on that. He said low market cap. Let's see if TradingView will give it to us here. Average volume, 260,000. So that's a decent. That's a pretty decent amount, but that's not that's not a lot for a smaller cap. That's good. But all right, so taking a look here at the charts on the 1 day, you can see that this thing has absolutely. I mean, it's several X'd here on this chart. Yeah, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is probably overbought. But like I said at the beginning of the show, this is not a time to be looking at the fundamentals in a sense. I mean, looking at the technicals and expecting them to be followed one for one. That's just not the reality that we're living in right now. You can see that from the bottom here, this baby is up almost 400% at 380%, moving from 50 cents just back in September 30th. It is now up to $2.80. At least that's where it wicked up there in the premium zone from Chart Prime on the daily chart. That's Kuji. Again, don't know anything about the fundamentals. Fade and TradFi was the one that shouted it out. We shall see how that all unfolds. Drew P said, anyone know if there are any other games besides Shrapnel with this Shrap token that are out there tradable in the game crypto? Yeah, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments if you're watching this non-live. Good morning, bro, said Army Piper. Army Piper will be going live on Piper Academy here in 1 minute, it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. I've got one or two more headlines. Actually, pretty big headline here to bring you guys. HSBC to offer tokenized securities and custody services for institutions. But the kicker is they're not for custody of cryptocurrency or stables. They're really focusing on, looks like bonds, tokenized bonds. So boring, but moving in the right direction for HSBC. Of course, this in Europe, if you live in Europe or live in Asia, this is a huge name. Also, I believe they are in the United States too, but this is a huge bank, guys. Globally, this is a very, very significant bank. Will be very interesting to see how that unfolds, especially after last week when we got Singapore, Japan, U.S., Singapore, Japan, UK, and Swiss regulators plan asset tokenization pilot. So it looks like HSBC kind of got the tap to be the one to bring a lot of that to market. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It is Wednesday, my dudes, so we will be live today at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Myself and Tim Warren will be bringing you the charts, bringing you the news and updates that matter. We'll be doing a little bit of digestion of what we've seen so far this week in crypto. Guys, go ahead and smash the like button on the way out. I've been T-Shroom in for the Investing Bros. Having a great, very caffeinated, if you can't tell, morning. Have a great rest of your day, guys.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.